I never imagined my own child would abandon me like that. Not quietly, not privately, but in front of strangers, under bright lights, with nowhere to hide my shame. Have you ever felt pain so deep it doesn't scream, it just goes silent? That morning, I sat in a wheelchair in the nursing home lobby, my hands folded over a thin sweater that still smelled like my house. The air reeked of bleach and old food. A television played some daytime show no one was watching. People were there, but I had never felt more alone. My daughter stood in front of me, tapping her phone, already done. Her face showed no anger, just impatience, like I was a task she wanted to cross off her list. "This is what's best," she said flatly. "I can't keep dealing with you." Dealing with me. Those words cut deeper than anything else. I wanted to ask when I became a problem instead of a parent, when love turned into inconvenience. Have you ever looked at someone you raised and realized they don't see you as human anymore? A nurse nearby pretended to rearrange papers. Another patient stared at the floor. No one met my eyes. The silence felt cruel, like the room itself had judged me and found me lacking. Then she said it, clear, cold, and loud enough for everyone to hear. "You've always been a burden." My chest tightened. My mouth opened, but no sound came out. I felt small, disposable. I thought this was the end of my story, left behind, forgotten, written off. But what my daughter didn't know was this. That moment wasn't my breaking point. It was the moment everything began to turn, and the person who would expose the truth was the last one anyone expected to walk through that door. The day my daughter left me in that nursing home, she didn't even sit down. She stood the whole time, like if she stayed still long enough, I'd disappear on my own. The lobby was cold, the kind of cold that seeps into your bones. My wheelchair squeaked every time I shifted my weight. I kept my purse tight against my chest, the same one I carried when she was little and afraid of crowds. She handed a clipboard to the nurse and didn't look back at me. "I filled out everything," she said. "He won't be coming home with me." The words hit harder than I expected. I looked up at her, searching her face for doubt, for guilt, anything. But all I saw was relief, like she had finally dropped off a package she'd been carrying too long. "Just sign here," the nurse said gently. My hand shook as I took the pen. I wanted to ask my daughter why, what I had done so wrong, when I stopped being worth keeping. Instead, she crossed her arms and sighed. "You'll be taken care of here," she said, already stepping back. "This is where you belong now." Belong. People nearby stopped talking. I felt their eyes on me, burning into my skin. My throat tightened, and I swallowed hard to keep from crying. I remembered helping her with homework at the kitchen table, waiting up late when she missed curfew, standing proud at her wedding. And now, this. As she turned toward the door, I realized something terrifying. She wasn't planning to come back. Not today. Not ever. And I had no idea how much worse things were about to get. If this story has touched you even a little, please subscribe. Not for drama, but for truth, because no one should feel disposable in their own family. As my daughter reached for the door, something in her voice stopped me cold. It wasn't anger anymore. It was certainty. She turned back, lowered her voice, and said, "Don't call me. Don't ask for help. I'm done." The door clicked shut behind her. The sound echoed through the lobby like a final sentence. I sat there, frozen, surrounded by strangers, realizing I had just been erased from my own life. I didn't know where my important papers were. I didn't know what she'd signed in my name, and I didn't know how much she'd already taken. All I knew was this: whatever she had planned, she thought I was too weak to stop it. She was wrong. That first night in the nursing home, I didn't sleep at all. The mattress was thin, the blanket smelled like detergent and something old, and the hallway lights never fully turned off. Every few minutes, a cart rolled past my door, wheels rattling like a reminder that I wasn't home anymore. I kept replaying my daughter's words in my head. "Don't call me. I'm done." I reached for my phone, then stopped. My contacts were gone, photos missing, even my banking app wouldn't open without a password I didn't recognize. That's when fear finally replaced shock. The next morning, a social worker came in with a forced smile and a stack of papers. She spoke slowly, like I couldn't understand. "Your daughter has full control now," she said. "Medical decisions, finances, property." Property. My heart sank. The house I'd lived in for 30 years, the one my late wife and I rebuilt with our own hands. I asked to see the documents. She hesitated, then handed them over. The signature at the bottom looked like mine, but it wasn't. My hands trembled as I traced the letters. Someone had practiced this. Someone had planned. That afternoon, while sitting near the window, I noticed a man across the street, standing by a parked car. He looked up, met my eyes, then quickly looked away. I didn't think much of it at the time. I didn't know yet that he was watching because he already knew the truth, and he was getting ready to step back into my life, whether my daughter liked it or not. By the third day, the staff had started treating me differently. They spoke to me in short sentences. They checked their notes twice before answering my questions. When I asked about my mail, they said it was being redirected. When I asked about my house, they said it was handled by family. Family. That word felt bitter now. That afternoon, the administrator called me into her office. Her smile was polite but guarded. "There's been some confusion," she said. "Your daughter has requested limited access for you. Fewer phone calls. No outside visitors without approval." I stared at her. "That's not her right." She paused. "Legally, it is." The room felt smaller. The walls closed in as I realized what my daughter had done. She hadn't just left me here. She had locked me in. Back in my room, I noticed something missing from my bedside drawer. My old folder. The one with copies of deeds, tax papers, and handwritten notes. The folder I kept hidden for emergencies. It was gone. That night, as rain tapped against the window, I made a decision. If my daughter thought I was powerless, she was wrong. I asked the night nurse for a pen and paper and began writing down everything I remembered. Account numbers, names, dates. Near midnight, there was a soft knock on my door. A man's voice whispered, "Sir, it's me. We need to talk." When the door opened, my breath caught. It was my daughter's ex-husband, and the look on his face told me this was far from over. He stepped inside quietly and closed the door behind him. "I shouldn't be here," he said, lowering his voice. "She doesn't know I came." I stared at him, my heart racing. Of all the people in the world, he was the last one I expected to see. The man my daughter once claimed had ruined her life. He sat across from me and pulled out a thick envelope. "I've been trying to reach you for weeks," he said. "Your phone was blocked. Your emails bounced back." My hands tightened on the blanket. "Why are you helping me?" He hesitated, then looked me straight in the eyes. "Because I've seen her do this before." He opened the envelope and spread the papers on the bed. Bank statements, property transfer drafts, power of attorney forms, all with recent dates. "She tried it on me during the divorce," he said. moved money, forged signatures. When I caught her, she laughed. A chill ran through me. She told people you were unstable, he continued, that you couldn't manage your affairs anymore, that this place was for your own good. Tears burned my eyes, not from sadness, but from anger. She doesn't know I kept copies, he said, and she doesn't know I reported some of it. I've been waiting for the right moment. He leaned closer and lowered his voice. Tomorrow, she's coming back here. She thinks you're broken. He straightened the papers and slid them back into the envelope. She's about to find out how wrong she is. The next morning, I felt different. Not stronger in my body, but steadier in my mind. For the first time since my daughter left me there, I wasn't guessing anymore. I knew what she had done, and more importantly, I knew she hadn't gotten away with it. The ex-husband returned just after lunch. This time, he wasn't alone. A woman in a dark blazer walked beside him, her expression calm but sharp. She introduced herself as a legal advocate. "We won't confront her yet," she said quietly. "We let her speak first." Around 3 in the afternoon, my daughter arrived. She walked into the lobby like she owned the place, sunglasses still on, heels clicking. She didn't look at me right away, only at the front desk. "I'm here to check on my father," she said loudly. "He gets confused." I felt the familiar sting, but I stayed silent. She finally turned to me and sighed. "Have you settled in?" she asked, fake concern dripping from her voice. "This is for the best." Then the ex-husband stepped forward. Her face froze. "What are you doing here?" she snapped. He didn't answer. He handed the administrator the envelope. As the papers were read, the color drained from her face. Her mouth opened, but no words came out. The room began to whisper. For the first time, my daughter looked small, and this time, everyone was watching. The administrator asked my daughter to sit down. She refused. "This is ridiculous," she said, her voice shaking now. "He doesn't even know what day it is." The legal advocate looked at her calmly. "Actually," she said, "he's been very clear." She turned to me. "Would you like to speak?" Every eye in the lobby shifted. I took a slow breath and stood with help from the armrest. My legs trembled, but my voice didn't. "I know exactly what day it is," I said. "It's the day I find out how long you've been lying." A murmur spread through the room. I reached into my coat pocket and pulled out a folded paper, the handwritten list I'd made that night. Account numbers, dates, names. "You forged my signature," I continued. "You redirected my mail. You tried to sell my house while telling everyone I was confused." My daughter laughed weakly. "You can't prove that." The ex-husband stepped forward again. "Yes, we can." He placed another document on the desk, an audio transcript and a notarized copy of a recorded phone call. The administrator's face hardened. My daughter's hands began to shake. For the first time, she looked at me, not as a burden, not as a problem, but as a threat. And she knew the truth was about to destroy the story she had built. The administrator picked up the phone. "I'm calling Legal and Adult Protective Services," she said firmly. "This matter is no longer private." My daughter's confidence collapsed in seconds. "Wait, this is a misunderstanding," she pleaded, her voice cracking. "We can talk about this at home." Home. The word landed heavy in the room. I looked at her, really looked at her, and felt something strange. Not anger, not victory, clarity. "You already chose," I said quietly. "Today, I'm choosing myself." The ex-husband stood beside me, steady and silent. the legal advocate placed a reassuring hand on my shoulder. Around us, the staff watched, no longer uncomfortable, only alert. As my daughter was escorted away to give a statement, she didn't look back. And for the first time in months, I felt free. If this story moved you, subscribe to hear more real stories about truth, family, and second chances. Because sometimes justice arrives from the last place you expect, and it's never too late to stand up for yourself.